Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Casadio Mog 6x6 build along. I decided to call it a build along instead of just a build like I was doing before, because it kind of is. And if you're going to be working on the truck and have questions or whatever, come check it out and see what I did wrong first. I'm not going to do long intros on these. If you're here, you kind of know what's going on and what we're working with. Just kind of a quick check-in, see where I'm at, maybe what I did wrong. If I made a mistake, I'm going to tell you here, and also I'll put a note down the bottom like I did in the last one. I just want to point out, so you have an audio cue now and then a visual cue on the bottom here when I tell you that it's wrong. We're going to be doing the axles. Technically it's supposed to be axles, links, and then putting on the chassis, but it took so long I could never do a single video on that. Just doing the axles alone with the recording and stuff, I ended up having like 4 hours of footage, I think it was 4.5, something like that. And then the links took another hour and a half or whatever, and attaching it to the chassis. And so I split it at the axles. It's like, I think it's like 89, let's see, 87 through 398 is the pages. We're stopping at 300 at the axles being done, and then the links and stuff are going to go on the next video with all the, like, starting with like doing all the chassis stuff. And speaking of this being longer, since this is, I think it's like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes is going to be, I'm going to split the chapters down below to front, middle, rear. If you have a 4x4, it's going to be front, middle, because that's your rear. So don't worry about the third one unless you're bored and want to watch it. They are a little different. Well, especially this one. Knuckles are pretty much the same. Knuckles are the same. Portal boxes are the same. That most of it's the same. It's just like this one has like the gears on top to go to like the middle axle for the drive shaft. With the 6x6, you put in the middle transfer. So there are differences. So with that being said, the first one's a little longer than the other two because some of it is kind of repetitive. So I just kind of jumped over some stuff. Kind of, if it's the same, I kind of just made it quicker. So like this one's probably like, say, 45 minutes long, and this one's only like 15 minutes long, 20 minutes long, and this one's probably another half hour long. So if you have a question about it, just kind of maybe refer to the front if it's the same type of thing. I do explain it. It's just there's not a lot of video coverage, I guess, possibly on everything. We will be using printable parts 11 through 32, but not all of those because some of those are going to be on the next episode. But just to get them ready, because that's the next step of this whole section with the wheels, tires, all that stuff. Just have them ready to go. We'll be stopping at a certain printable. I don't know what number, but you'll just have them ready. And a little final note. This one kind of sucks. Towards the end of this axle. Yeah, pretty sure it was this axle. Like the last like 10-15 minutes, I think. And then almost the whole second axle, I forgot to put my mic on. I left it in the little box. And I will note that when it happens, and you'll see the better audio, but it goes off of my camera that's up here, because this one was connected to the box and it didn't hear me at all. So it's on phone microphone. It's good enough to work. It's just it's not like what you're hearing right now. It's not as clear. So I tried to clean it up, the audio, as much as I could, but there's only so much I can do with the phone mic. Even though it's literally like 10 inches from my face, it kind of stinks that it like didn't really pick it up better. But just know that that's there, and that's another reason I kind of shortened up this, is because I only put in what I absolutely needed to put in. And the other thing is too, on this axle, I forget to put in the bearings in the spider gears, and you'll see me being like, wow, these are looser than usual. That's kind of weird, but it does say it's supposed to be loose, and it's actually worse than it should be because I forgot to put the bearing in it. I didn't realize, so I was putting this axle together. I went to put the bearings in it, and I said, why do I have extra bearings? That's right, because I didn't put them in here. So I had to pull this whole axle apart and put those in. So that was another, once it's together, it's actually not that bad, especially the middle axle. It's like another 15-20 minutes I think took to take it apart, put it back together. I did also reprint the housing for this one and this one. You'll see that I have gaps in them. They're just a little warped, and they're better now. These are actually PLA Plus now, whereas originally I did them PCTG. I kind of just wish I did the whole truck in PLA Plus, honestly. It's probably going to be fine with PLA Plus. I only did PCTG to try to help with temperatures, because if I leave this in the vehicle, I didn't want it to like warp. Sometimes I go places and it could sit there for a couple hours if I'm working, or if going doing something with a family or something. It could just sit there. I didn't, in the summer heat, even though I'm in New Hampshire, it can get really hot in the vehicle still, and I have PLA stuff warp sometimes. So I was trying to do PCTG, PETG, that kind of stuff, but we'll see. If it warps, I'll just reprint it. There's not a lot of stress on these things, so I don't think it's going to be too bad. We should be good. This one is still a PCTG. You'll see that I had a gap in it, but it was just because I didn't close it enough. I ended up later on loosening the bolts, squeezing the ends of these, and then tightening it down, and I got rid of the gaps. So just when you're doing the axles, if you're having gaps, maybe check that. Also with these, even when I reprinted them, I saw a gap, and I'm like, what is going on? I did the same thing. I squeezed it really hard, tightened the screw, and it actually went down farther. I wasn't grabbing the whole plastic on the bottom of the axle, I think. And so it got way better. Let's see. I think that's about it. I kind of had some notes over here on what I was going to talk about to remember this stuff, because there was a few things. So now it's going to jump into me talking. It's going to sound like we're in the middle of a conversation, pretty much because we are. But I wanted to add all this info in and, just kind of help you out. So back to past me. So this is pretty much all the axles. It's going to be putting the springs on the frame, I think, and all that too. But so we'll probably bring that back. But we're just gonna, it looks like we're starting with the diff assembly. Looks like it's number 12. That's 1912. I printed all my gears and stuff in PLA Plus because everyone said the PLA type material is probably best for it. So let's see. I think that this one is the front axle. Yeah, front axle, gears, and shafts, because it pretty much goes in order when you're printing and installing. So first one's 12. We're going to be doing grease too, so make sure you have your grease ready to go. I've been using marine grease, like I said. We have, let's put this in the screen here. Got our ring and this piece, it looks like. Yeah, okay. This gear, the pinion, there's two. Does it matter? Any generic grease for mechanical application is okay. Pay attention when using PTFE grease. Some countries already started banning it. Well, that's awkward. This is with PTFE. I've never had an issue with it, so I don't know on that. Let me get some gloves ready, because I know I'm going to need them. So yeah, looks like we're grabbing the pinion and slapping a gear on it. I mean, a bearing on it. For this, on the last one, I found it easier to pull it down like this. As far as I can tell, we're going to go all the way to the base. Right down. As far as go all the way down to there. And this should go into here. Yep. Oh, that fits good. Okay, and then it says get some grease in there. Not really sure how much to put in there, but I think it's a good amount, because I think we're going to end up putting in even more later on other stuff. Oh, that's where the other one goes. I'm doing the same thing for the other side. And this is going to go into this cup. Make sure it spins. Yeah, should be good. I'm going to put grease in here also. That came out way easier for some reason. Put those aside. Now we need the triangle block here. And the small bearings, it looks like. We need 3 of those. And those are 3x6 by 2.5 bearings. And then we need 3 M3 by 8s. And we're going to get these gears. Put these to the side. That to the side. Don't panic if the holes feel too big. It is by design. Oh, okay. So these holes might actually be too big. And I think it's just because you're really just setting in here. I don't think it's really that you're tightening it into it. So we're putting this on here, the bearing on here, the gear on here. Oh, okay, yeah. That is a little wobbly. So that's probably what he's talking about. Yeah, so it's not really tightening up. I think it's just supposed to move freely. This is really just to hold them in place. Like this is acting as like the shaft. Because when you put it into here, it's going to be really holding it all together. It can't fall out. Yeah, it's literally just putting it in there. It fell out already. Wow, that's the tricky thing to hold. All right, so now we are all together. We got socket heads, because I think you're supposed to anyways. I think this is what's going to hold it into this. And then we are dropping it into this. like that. Yep, the socket heads are what hold it into place, like I thought. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can spin it. Nice. Then you put the cap on. Yeah. Then just line up where the heads are, like that. Okay. And then we are going to use 3 M2 by 20s. Yeah, 3 M2 by 20s. Okay. It's weird because these are like concave, like angled, but they're not going to be, like, because they're regular socket cap screws. I think he just does that for easier printing. Because if not, you'd have a big ledge. If not, you gotta have a big ledge in there. You're gonna have to put supports in. Oh, that's cool. It's a little like clunk, 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 clunk. I think that's just the bearings. Because I was feeling the bearing feel like that. I was feeling the bearing when I did that before too. That's sweet. And then we gotta do the diff assembly. It says so. 4 M2 by 10s go into here. I'm gonna guess that's for like stiffening. Not a lot of meat on that, so I'm gonna. No, actually, it's pretty good. Okay. Then on the final. Oh, that's the wrong one. I gotta get that out of the way. Yeah, there's definitely not a ton of meat at the end. So, well, there is, but I don't want to crack it. Because it does stress the edges a little bit because it's kind of thin on the outside, as you see there. But it seems okay. It's not like breaking anything. I don't know, hopefully. Prepare 2 of these. Oh, okay. All right, so 4 more M2 by 10s. So both of those are done with 4 M2 by 10s each. We need 3 M2 by 20s. And this part goes here like this. All right, got that there. It is definitely easier to get one probably all the way in this piece first, so it's bottomed out, and then screw it in, because I did it like most of the way, and it wasn't as easy. Yeah. And then now repeat for the other side. So we're also going to do 3 M3 by 20, M2 by 20s. And on this side, I'll try doing that, because I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Oh yeah, way easier that way. Then you twist it into place. Yep, way easier that way. Pound one all the way through this thing first, and then put it on so it's touching. Move it into place, pound a second one in, and then you can just do the third, and it's no problem. But look at that, we got a diff. That's crazy. That's cool. A lock differential is available. Yeah, I didn't do locked because I don't want to put stress on all this. So from what I was reading, the 6x6 is completely fine having 3 open diffs because you have so many different tires on the ground and it seems fine. Some people on the 4x4 one will, they will do the locked, I think like in the front or the rear. One of them, someone said that one works better in the front than the other. I can't remember that they liked, so I don't know. But this, I'm gonna start with this. Make sure that the output shafts can move freely. After some run-in, they will be smoother. Yeah, because I mean, this is pretty smooth, but I can feel like a wonk, wonk, wonk. Like it's kind of like hitting. And from what I hear after doing the transmission and this, they get smoother in general. So we need the front axle now. Right. Oh no, sorry, we're on the same thing. Huh. 2 M2 by 12s, and apparently we're putting it through here. It looks like the flat side's on the bottom the way that they're doing it, because I don't see the flat side, so I'm going to put it that same way. All the way through, it looks like. And then one of the bearings. So, okay, it says, do not confuse this shaft with the one of the 6x6 version. This is the longer axle of the build. So, when you do the everything's like made for the 4x4, and then also if you're doing 6x6, it's like a separate part. So that's why I made sure I labeled bags. Like this is number 12, so I know it's going to be in here. But if you had taken all these parts and thrown them together, you would have an issue. Oh yeah, anyway, so I put a bearing all the way down. Went on there wicked easy, wicked smooth. And then we're doing the same for this axle too, like I kind of figured. For axle shaft. and then another bearing. So those are done. And then looks like the long shaft, pay attention to the orientation of the parts and the different lengths. Yep, so this one goes here, and this one goes here. And I'm gonna line, no I'm not. So this one, flat side up, out. Oh, this isn't gonna matter, idiot, because it's gonna move, because it's an open diff. Oh, that falls down. All right, those are in. And I don't know how far they're supposed to go in, but we'll find out when we go to put it into the actual open housing, I think. Front axle. Now this is going to be front axle housing, which is 14. 15, 14. So I was doing it with masking tape. Masking tape works okay-ish, but it wants to fall off all the time. So I would suggest putting like zip ties around it maybe, or putting it in Ziploc bags. I did the little parts for the Ziploc bags, but I should have done for all of it, I think. We got that, we got this. So we are looking at this side, and this should go here. And it seems, okay, I don't have to go as far, I put it in farther than I needed to. Oh, no, I didn't. It's, so when I was taking all this stuff apart, I didn't get all the support out. That's the second time now I found that. There was so much support, so many parts, I just kind of was printing and tossing into packages, and yeah. This seems like it fit right in there. Should be good. Front axle, make sure the bearings are properly seated, otherwise the top cover won't close properly. Yeah, it looks like this is in its seat, that's in its seat. Diff assembly, hold on. Wait, what? Oh, we're doing the output. Here, I think, right now. Okay, so we'll put that to the side. Diff assembly, so I need 3 M2 by 25s. 2 of the bearings. We're going to put the bearings onto this piece. We put both of them on here? Oh, I guess so. Okay. One is supposed to go flush, I think. And then the other one all the way down. So, ow! I jumped the gun. I should not have done it that way. Okay, when you get to this part where you're going to be doing this next step after to do like the output pinion here, I tried putting I jumped ahead. I saw 2 bearings, and I put them on here, and I tried to shove them on together. You need to put one on all the way to here, and one goes against here, it seems. So there's an actual space in between them. I tried to take them off so I could push the other one on, and I ended up breaking this. So I'm reprinting a new one. But these parts are the same for the other, axles. So I'm just grabbing this one for now. So I'm going to put this as a reminder from the next bag. I think it's bag 19. What you're supposed to do is put this on all the way to the end, like that, and then put this one on flat. So then I'll put that on the ground. So then they're like this. I'm guessing this is going to probably sit in here. Yeah, it sits in there like that. So make sure you do that. All right, so we have the 2 bearings on there. This is the flanged side, and it's going to go against this side here. And then this is going to go here. It's like a big old sandwich. So we have to get this one started. I'm going to send this one all the way through. And these are the M2 by 25s, as a reminder. And then I need to put it through here. Nope. Yeah, that's the flange side. I want the non-flange side. Okay. This should be interesting. Trying to get this in. Okay, had a little situation with the flathead screwdriver when I was trying to pry these out earlier. I found the best way to do this was, seems like, thread this in. Probably thread the first screw into a little bit farther in and start it into this plastic. Take the second one and the third one and do it. So then all 3 of these are at least started a little bit. Then you can send one all the way through and do the same thing here and start it in a little bit. And then send another one through and start it in a little bit, because the problem is you can't hold anything with these bearings when you're trying to do this one to this one. But then once you get these all the way into here, you can hold this gear and send and tighten all 3 of those up, right up. I use the drill to get them, close, and then I use this to really check them. And they are solid now. It does say to make sure you check the bearing position, like I found out you have to do. It also notes to not use a different gear. There's another gear somewhere in these that has like a pocket on this side and not just flat on both sides. So make sure you don't use that. I don't know what one that's from. I'm guessing it's maybe one of these, but I do not have that. So let's see. Now we're going to take this cup and put it right here. And this is 4 M2 by 20s. Got them close with the gun and then tighten it up. And this goes into here just like I was thinking. Yep, that feels good. Look at that. And then we're going to put a lot of grease, it says. We'll apply a lot of grease here. So I'm going to probably put it on here and then spin this. So it's pulling this down. So it's easier to pull the grease into it. I'm really getting tired of getting grease all over myself, so I'll definitely got to try to remember the gloves each time. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, I keep forgetting that it's an open diff. And I got to spin them together to get them to move. I feel like I need a... There, oh yeah, that's getting smoother already. Make sure you just get it onto the gears, really, because I mean it's gonna mush out and get onto here, like like it is. But I'm really trying to keep it. There we go. Yep. All right, get that back into there. Okay. Hopefully that's enough of that. That's pretty covered. And then we're gonna put the other half on. Like that. Seems like it's gonna, I'm just gonna check everything. Yeah, I just wanna make sure I didn't miss any supports. And 2 M2 by 20s. We're gonna go here, it looks like. Those in there. And then 2 M2 by 8. Cannot wait till this Band-Aid can go away because it is really in the way. And it looks like, oh, I touched it. Looks like it goes into a little pocket here and a little pocket here. You can see like a little recess where it's going to go in. I feel like I could have probably greased that after doing it so the grease isn't all out in the open. I could have probably put this together since there's a diff cover and then greased it. Instead of it being like, I had to do it all on the with it out. Oh, okay. That's all we're doing? Huh, okay. What, we don't put the diff cover on yet? Okay, okay. I really thought we were going to put the diff cover on. I'd like to get rid of that grease. But now it looks like we were getting this. I think these are the same. Yeah, these are the same. I think these are going to be the portal outputs. An M2 by 20. And it looks like that goes right down here. Reinforcing screw, as it says. And yep, do 2 of those. So both of them. Kind of wish it just said grab both of these and grab 2 M2 by 20s and do them at the same time. That way you can kind of collect things together. Because now I had to go to the bin twice instead I could have just grabbed 2 of them. 4 M2 by 30s. So I'm going to say 8. So I don't have to do that twice. We're going to need both of these. And we're going to need 2 bearings. So it looks like oh, and then, wait a minute, where'd those come from? Okay. See, this is where I think it would be nice if, like, in the instructions you could say what printable each part is from. Because apparently we just jumped to part number 18 right here to get these little pieces I needed, and I didn't know that. And I would think it would just be all in here. Okay, so I need this piece right here out of bag 18. So yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a thing that would definitely nice. That would help. Got that one. And then a second one. And you got a gear. This goes this way. And this goes like this. Yes, okay. So let me get these going. Oh, this is going to be another one with a bearing that's going to be an issue. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it this way. This is kind of how I was thinking about doing in the last one that I talked about. Start this. Okay, so that's started. Get a second one started. Then that way it can't spin on me. Man, this Band-Aid is really getting frustrating. Now it can't twist on me. Because if not, I was going to have to try to hold that bearing somehow. Okay, so this is what I'm going to start with right now. And then go into here. And this whole thing's going to spin, so just watch out. But that way I can get this right up to it. Ish. And try to just center this as much as possible. And if you look down the empty holes, you can kind of line up the holes there. Yep. Okay. Now I can just send the other two in. Then in that same 18 bag, there's the cups that go here. But I'm gonna do. Okay, I know this is not the order, but I'm gonna do it the way, because I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to go back and do it twice. Like look at everything again. All right, now I got two of those. Now next step. So yeah, prepare two of these. That's the last step, is prepare two. So I'm glad I'm doing this as I go. 4 M2x12s, so I need 8 M2x12s. Okay, got both those all set. Next we're going to be going to, well, it's the same thing, but we're going to put it into the knuckle. So we need printable number 15, which is here. Again, I wish it would tell you on the page, because I had to go search for that. Front knuckles and rods, it's called. And we need to find the knuckle that has an arrow on it. So that one has an arrow. And this one has an arrow. Oh, okay. The arrow mark identifies the left part. But, yeah. So what we got to do is we got to look for the one. No, this is upside down. So this way. All right, so we're looking at the part this direction in the manual, and the arrow's pointing this way for me, and this part's this way. So I'm going to put this into here, like that, it looks like. Install the top gear in the knuckle. Okay, so that's like that. Front portal, install the top cover. So it looks like the cover is going to probably have the same arrow, I think. Oh, I just can't see the part. I couldn't see this part in the picture, but yeah. So this is going to go this direction in the picture, and this goes like this. So you see how it matches? Okay. Now, yeah, that's snapped in, it seemed. Okay. Put that to the side. 2 M2x25s. We're going to go down through here. So arrow that way, these line up here. I think if I had the wrong one, obviously it wouldn't line up because it'd be backwards. And then we're putting a bearing into here. Oh, look at that, another piece of support. Oh, that popped right in, nice. Apply a lot of grease in the gear. So we're gonna put, wait a minute. Oh, this was updated apparently. Huh? Okay, so I think I remember seeing a post about this. These gears have one single bolt through, whereas in the manual it has 2 bolts. And as far as I'm aware, this was not an updated part needed, so I'm hoping I'm good. If not, it's just the portal is pretty easy to get to. I don't want to, but you know. Okay, so it says to put grease in here. I'm going to be honest, I am going to do the same thing on this part. I want to not do the grease twice. Because every time I do it, I put a glove on because I don't want to get all these parts covered that aren't getting grease. So these were the other 2 knuckle parts and the bearing. And it was M2x25s. So now we got both sides. And I know that this is out of order, but this is just going to make it easier for me. So if you don't want to do it this way, follow the manual. And then it said to apply grease on both of these. Yes. Okay. I'm probably over greasing these a lot, but I'd rather not have an issue. And I think since these are plastic parts, plastic gears, I don't mind a little bit extra. I feel like that's going to be a good amount when that gets squeezed through everything. And now we're apparently, oh, gross. So now we are apparently going to another bag of parts, which is 16. So we can get the portal box housings. Saw the portal housing, check the part orientation. So this is just the pass-through part. It's like the center, it looks like. So we need 2 of those. And the thing is, there's 3 sets of these because I have a 6x6. It would have only had 2 sets of these if it was a 4x4. Just remember that. I'm going to push this grease into the gears so that's not sticking out when I'm trying to do this. Kind of just flattened it out around it. So now I'm going to get rid of this glove. And so there's a certain way these go. It looks like, you see how this has like a embossed, like the bolt hole can fit inside of it. It looks like it goes like this, from what I can tell in the picture. Yep, goes like this. And it's 5 M2x20s, so I'm gonna get both of these ready. Yeah, you wanna make sure that the little recess for the screws are pointing towards you. 5 M2x20s, so I need 10 M2x20s. All right, I got both of those all together, all 10, 5 and 5 in. The next is going to be these again. Well, not again, but back to these, because those were what we touched before in that group. And then we need to find the cups again in that bag, bag 18. Get these, oh my God, little cups. M2x30s. And again, like I said, this is, I know I'm going to need this, so I'm going to do both of these at the same time. Make sure that you have the flange towards this. I almost put it in backwards. Yeah, and like I said, it says do ×2, so I did ×2. Now we're going to pop this into here, and that goes into that bearing that we put in there already. Oh, nice, snapped right into place. And 2 more bearings on here, on each side. Okay, so this one's been the only rough one to get on so far. What I had to do was get a socket that fit, or something metal round that goes like this over it, but it's not going to interfere with here. Well, I mean, it's going to go right to it. So you want to make this on the same plane as this. So I went like this, and I tapped it with a hammer, like nothing crazy. All right, well, let's see, and then I just kind of hit it like this, but you want to do it against something. So it's going to be louder than everything on here is bouncing. And now I'm level with it, and I'm covered in grease trying to hold that thing. Oh, God. So frustrating with the grease everywhere, but that's how it is with these, right? All right, don't spin these, by the way, yet, because I did it on this one, and the grease went bloop, and it kind of pushed its way out onto the bearing, and we don't want to lose that. So next is the cover. So bag 16, bag 16, and you're gonna get the portal covers, which I think that they're all the same. Yeah, they're all the same because we had to print it 3 times, so you can't get a different version because there's only one. Yeah, as far as I can tell, it's all the front portal cover. Let's see how this wants to go. Nice, fit right on. 4 M2x25s, so I'm gonna get 8. Okay, I got that, and then we need the hub plate for the front portals, which were in the same bag, I believe. Yes. The shape of the hub and the tapered surface will make it really hard to break. Oh, okay, because this goes in here like this, I believe. Yes, okay, so yeah, it only goes like one way because it's got the ribbing for the shape of this right here. M2x30s. This is a long ones again. That's just because it's going all the way through. Okay, got those in, and I did, like I said, I'm doing both sides together. This spins nice and smooth. That is wicked smooth. Next, we're going to take the front portal covers. Let's see here. 13, which I know it doesn't really matter because it's the only thing that looks like this, but I'm just trying to give you bias part numbers. M2 by 6, 2 of them. So I need 4. I think that this is just to help protect it, like a dust shield or something. I'm not really sure. Because it doesn't look like it does a whole lot. And this goes on these little holes right here. Oh, that's what it's funny. The next page. Are you wondering what the function of these shield is? To prevent stones from getting stuck between the portal fixed and the rim rotating. This part is optional, but I recommend installing it. All right, that answers my question. And kind of what I was thinking. I was just thinking dust, but rocks makes more sense. Doesn't look like there's any certain orientation. It's just, you know, they're straight across from each other. Okay, and as far as I can, a little fuzzy. So as far as I can tell, you just kind of make this flush with the portal box. Yep. And then the next part is these pieces, which is what actually attaches the wheel. I think this is going to go like this. But you need to attach all the bolts that go this direction that will hold the actual wheel, which is 10 M2 by 16s. So I need 20. I'm going to grab a bunch. I'm not going to count that many. And I'm going to place them all in there first. Then that way I can use the gun and just put them all in. Okay, and I got it like this. I did forget to mention, and it's in the picture anyways, but you want to put the bolts in this way with the flange, this little lip and everything, this side. Once you're done too, there's a bunch of little pieces of plastic from ramming all these through. So just kind of clean off all that plastic. I'll do that after I do this one just to do it at the same time. But I'll get this one in and we'll be back. All right, we got 2 hubs. I'm going to guess that'd be a hub because it'd be the wheel is going to attach to. Done. Double check the orientation of the parts. You want to make sure, like I said, the lip is towards these holes this way. And then these are going to go onto here with 8 M2 by 12s. All right, and now we got both of these on there. That looks so cool. Look at that. I kind of wish I maybe made... No, I like the black with the silver. That's going to look good. All right. Let's see. What's next here? All right, I had to step away for a minute, so this probably looks a little different. But, all right. So, got these together. And the next step does say to do the same for the right side. So, I'm glad I did these at the same time, so I don't have to go back in all those steps. Let's see. Front axle, which is what we got here. We're going to put the cover on it, which I forget what printable that was, but it was with the whole axle piece. It looks like you put an M2 by 6 millimeter in here for reinforcement, and then we're going to plop it onto here. Looks like it goes this direction. It's 8 M2 by 8 millimeters. All right. I started at the bottom and went up, and I just didn't want to, I wanted to make sure it kind of evenly clamped it. I don't think it matters, but just in case. And then now we're going to turn it this way, and I'm glad that's covered up. I kept putting my hand on there every so often when I would move it around. Place the left portal hub, apply some grease in the, which one's the left? Let's see. I'm just going to look at the picture and copy it. You know, like that's the right, I think. This is the left. Yeah, so it seems like all the arrows point towards the front of the vehicle. Like if you look at the top of here, right there, it's like every arrow, because if I had this on the other side, it'd be, you know, pointing backwards. So I think that's how he designed it. But I was just looking at like where this part was in the picture. In this part, you know, that kind of thing. So it says to put some grease right in here. And I'm going to put it in both just because I'm going to have to do this later anyways. I'm just putting like a dot. I don't know how much you need. Place the left front portal hub. Apply some grease. So I'm just placing it in for now. And it looks like you can see that it's like, yeah, it's like the shape of the screw. So I guess I'm just, well, it's upside down. There we go. I definitely did not need that much grease. Be careful. And then we need this piece. Yeah, this piece. The arrow's pointing this direction for me. And I need an M2 by 10. And I guess I need to do the same thing for the other one, so I'm going to do both. And then I need a orange spacer looking thing, which I believe is this part right there. And it's going to go down through this hole. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same thing on this side. So like I said, I'm just going to do the same. And I'll put that to the side because I know it's not the one I need right now. And then there's a reinforcing screw right here, which is an M2 by 16. And I'll do the same for that because I thought we were done with it for now. Okay, so this is to apply grease here. Then that means I'm going to have to apply grease on this one too on the other side here. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to put a scotch. I don't think you need much because that plastic, that orange piece that I have is going to go into it. This goes forward. That goes into there. Then it's M2 by 30s down through here. This should be interesting to try to line up. Oh, that's not that bad. Once you get it in there, it kind of just pops down. Okay. Then there's an M2 by 8 right here. And then we're going to go to this part. There's two, and they look the same. They're the same. They're not like left and a right, it looks like. And we're going to put an M2 by 8 in both of these. All right, got both of those in. Yep, prepare two. Look at that. And then apply some grease. Now we're doing the bottom here. A little bit of grease in the hole again. Oh, yeah. Same on this one. And then it's 3 M2 by 12s. This goes in there. All right, got that in there. Oh, that feels good. Once you move it a little bit too, it definitely kind of frees up a bit. Oh, that is so cool. You can definitely feel there's a limit, obviously, because it's a bolt acting as like the dog bone. But now that it's like moving the grease around, I can feel it opening up more. Okay. There's and like I think I showed in the intro, there's like blocks you put down, and it's so you can set the steering limit so it doesn't break. Now repeat the steps for the right side. Hey, look at that. And we got a full axle. And of course it's an open diff, so I'm turning the drive shaft output. There we go, yeah. The only thing I am questioning is I wonder if my housing warped, because I have a big gap. See, you can see the bearing right there, and you can see it right here. So I might try reprinting this, because this, you can tell the bearing is touching, and I didn't see, when I was putting this together, I made sure I got rid of all my extra, the flashing, I guess you could say, from the support. So I might try reprint. I mean, this will be good for now to get it built, but I might actually reprint that, because it just looks like it's a little, so we'll see. But it went together though, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Front axle still. So now we're going to get the steering rod, and we're going to have this on this side, and then you're going to get out the hollow balls. So I printed these in TPU because that's what it was recommended to do. It's 95A TPU. And it looks like we're going to pop them right into here. Oh, that popped right in. Oh, I was supposed to put grease on there though. I just put like a dab on each side, and I figured when I push this in, then I'll just twist it around in it. Like that. That feels gross. Should have put a glow on. Alright, so those are in. Front axle, we're putting two M2 by 8s right here. Well, I guess that's for reinforcing the layer lines, maybe. since it's like flat and the lay line goes straight across, and we're going to be putting a screw in there. And then we need, okay, place the steering bar, check the FT mark pointing up. Oh, FT. I'm guessing that means front. Just over here. It's going to go on like that, it looks like. And it's two M2 by 16s. That's it, huh? Oh, not even a washer. I feel like it'd be like a washer in there. And since this is TPU, I'm going to go just till it touches. Because I don't want to squish it. I mean, I guess if I squished it a little bit, it'll make it a little stronger. So it won't pull out as easy, you know? Now I'll just go till it touches. If I need to, I'll adjust from there another time. So that, yeah, that's looking correct. Just trying to go by the picture a little bit. So I don't want to put the servo on yet. It's showing the servo. I guess I could put some in just for mock-up. I'll just throw this 35 kg on for now, I guess, just to mock it up. I'll put this into here just to hold it, but I don't know if we're doing that whole thing yet. Press the balls inside the steering rod. The grease will increase the durability of the parts over the time. The slot identifies front steering rod. Right here. And it looks like out of this baggie, we're using the little ball that has like a flat. See, it's not actually round all the way. There's like a little flat spot there. And that's out of the bag 18. And then one hollow ball on the other side. Yeah, I shouldn't have put this in here yet. Look at me. So a little bit of grease, it says again, and this is not a difference in size. So I'm gonna pop this in. Okay, that will need probably pliers. Okay, there we go. I just kind of did it nicely because I didn't want that to snap or anything. The TPU ones, though, they do great. And it looks like the flat spot is going to go, so this is the flat spot here. It's going to go here. And that's an M3 by 12. Okay, so to get this into the hollow ball, I had to take it back out and grab it with pliers and put this on because it was not going through nicely. Like it's like threaded into it, which, you know, that's fine. I usually put a little thread locker on here, but I don't think this is going to be my permanent servo and all that, so I'm just putting it in, and I'll change it later if I, you know, when I decide to do that. You know, I'm not putting that in yet because I don't think it's right. M3 by 12 is in there. Okay, of course, I was going to be right, and it does say to put it in there. 4 M3 by 12s. All right, that was a pain. Should have put a bit on that, but I didn't. And then it's an M2 by 16 over here. Let me push some of that grease through and then clean it off. Then attached to this. That's cool. That's so cool. Okay, and that's the front axle complete. That is so cool to see. It's just, it's hard to move this one obviously because I can't get my hand in there, but everything moves pretty damn freely. It's so surprising. Probably all that grease in there and everything. I'm going to be honest, that took longer than I thought. I think I have about 2 hours of video just on this alone. It's also me trying to explain it to you and show you things. Why is this so long? I'll have to look in to make sure this is the right length, but you know, I'll double check that one. So yeah, I think the next axle is the middle one. I think it's going to go front, middle, rear. Okay, it looks like it's going to be rear axle because it's the 4x4, but it's just, then it's going to go and say, if you have the 6x6, build this other rear axle. I think that's how it's going to go. Second rear axle, 6x6 only. Yep. So that's what we're doing. All right, let's go on to the next axle here, and I'll put this to the side. That's cool. So we need parts from bag 19 to do the diff assembly. What am I doing with these then? Front knuckles and rods. I don't know. I'm gonna go until I can find them, I guess. Sorry, I'm going off on a little bit of a side quest here, I guess, but part number 19. That's what we need. This is the one I think that I stole a part out of. This one. And I reprinted it. And I gotta find it. Aha, I left it on the printer for some reason. I think I put it away in here, so at least I know where it was. Alright, so this is I'm just gonna put this to the side ish. Move that there. So we got this part. We need a bearing. We need gear. This goes into here. Pop this in here all the way through. And both these gears are the same. And then apply some grease if you're building. Yeah, go in the grease. Then we're gonna take this cap, the other side, and another bearing. Do the same. We're gonna go through this a little bit faster, I think, because it's the same-ish as the other axle. I know there's gonna be some differences on the outputs and whatnot, but it's going to be, for the most part, the same. Now, 3 M8 by 12s, now 3 M3 by 8s, and the little gears and the triangle, just like last time. And remember, these are going to be probably loose. Yep, they just push right in, pretty much. Maybe this was supposed to be like that. I guess I don't remember. I know the holes are supposed to be loose, but I just feel like they went in better. Let me check this. No, it goes in. That head doesn't sit there though. No, I guess it does sit, just not a lot. So these ones are in better than that one. And I could have sworn that fit better. Let me see how this feels. Oh yeah, the next thing would be to put this on. That seems fine. I think as long as something's holding it, it's fine, because it's really just twisting on it. Those holes are lined up, and it's 3 M2 by 20s. Let me lay out some of these parts, I guess. Am I missing a part? No, I'm not. I keep forgetting that some of these parts are in here. So some parts are in bag 18. That is one of the annoying things about the last one, that's right. So this piece was in this bag, but this is the gear bag. And I don't really get why they do that. Why he does it. That's odd, but okay. So this piece and this piece go together. And this is different, I think, than the last one, because I think this was all one piece. 4 M2 by 8s, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, I am pretty sure this was all one part last time, so I don't really understand why it's different. Yeah, it was definitely different, and I don't understand why, but whatever. It's got to be something to do with like the width of the axle, I'm guessing. Since it's a straight, I don't know. Okay, so we need to do the same thing right here. Make sure you don't grab the thicker one by accident like I did. I went to grab this one and I'm putting it in. I'm like, why is that not lined up shape-wise, like size? That's good. It's a different part. All right, got 2 of those now. And now we are going to put bearings on here. There we go. It's 3 M2 by 20s. And I guess that's for this both sides. So 3 M2 by 20s on here and on here. I did the same thing as last time, as I put one in most of it, like, so it stuck out a little bit, screwed it into the center diff. Then I put the second one in too, and screwed it into the center diff, and the third one. Then that way, when you try to tighten these up, this whole thing doesn't try to spin on you while you're doing it. Because I tried to do it on the first one and then I forgot, and the whole thing started spinning on me inside. So now that, yeah, make sure they can move freely, and they do. And now we're going to take this section We put an M2 by 20 in it. And I believe we're going to do the same for this one. So I'm going to do both. Yep, that's what it says on the next step. This says RD, square, flats. It says RD right here. We're going to put two M2 by 8s right there. And I guess we're going to do the same thing for the other one. Yep, it's built for both of them. Got those in there. One stuck out more than the other. I don't know why, because they're okay. Had an M2 by 10 in there. No wonder it stuck out. Get those in. Oh boy, there's a bunch of pieces here. Well, not a bunch, but you know. So we're going to be using this. There's a spacer, which I think is in this bag. Yep. So in bag 18, we have these spacers here. Well, I guess I would need one on each side. And I also need this, and I guess I need one on the other side. So I'm going to grab two of each of those. And what do we got here? We have this, spacer, this. I do need to put the bearing on though. Nope, that's not right. This is the wrong bearing holder. This one has a single center hole, I just realized. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. There's that. And that. Is that it? Yeah, okay. So make sure it has the 4 holes in it, and not the other one. Need that. I guess I'm going to need that. And it's it says 2 M2 by 30s, but it's showing 4. So yeah, just a typo, I'm guessing. 6, 7, 8, which I'm going to guess. I think I'm going to need them for both sides. Yeah, do it twice. Okay, just making sure. So we have this going through here, then a spacer. Then we get the next hole started because I don't want that spinning on me all the time. All right, so now I got the second one in. And now I need to put this on. Okay, so I got them both into there so this whole thing doesn't spin. And then I put it into here. I'll do the same thing getting this one in. And I'll repeat for the other one. Okay, so now we got a second one of those. And we are going to put, hold on. This is like this long shaft here. Like that. Short shaft goes here. And like this. So this whole thing. Double check the position of the parts. The long shaft is installed on the geared diff side. So I got the gear diff, long shaft. Bearing, 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 bearing. Yes. Rear axle, which I believe is 20. Yeah. Number 20 here. And this is going this direction. 2 M2 by 16s for reinforcement. I go right here. And right here. And then we're going to turn this. I'm just going to do it the direction it has it. So still don't know. There. This goes in here. Seems to be good. Apply a lot of grease. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. That's out of line. So it's saying to apply grease here and to put this to apply grease for here. But this should actually be farther down because we haven't made that part yet. Because it shows putting grease here. But then the next page is how to put this together. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. What do I got here? I need this gear. Oh, there's the spacer. 2 bearings. And this piece. Yep. So last time I did this, I accidentally put both of these on at the same time. This needs to go all the way down here. And then this one is just flush. Like that. And this is going to go, we want that flange part this way. And then this goes here. We got 3 M2 by 25s. This one's also kind of annoying to put together. Got this out here. Installed it into here. a little bit, and then I got the next screw ready because you can't hold on anything. Like you can't. It's just a bearing, you know. So if you get this one in here, now you can tighten this up, and it won't spin on you because you can hold this bigger part. And I'm going to start this one. I'll get this second one going. Oh, that's a tight heart. That's a tight. Oh boy, some of them are wicked tight heads. Make sure this is centered. Make sure these are good. That's nice and tight. Yeah, see this? Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I put this together, and now this goes on here. 4 M2x20s. All right, we got that together. Oh, we got some. Sometimes the plastic kind of goes out the other side, and you gotta trim it so it's not in the way of the bearing. All right, cleaned up. Now we can put this in here. So that was where it was kind of backwards. Yeah, that feels good. Now we can put the grease in. And yeah, so that one page should have been here instead for whatever reason here. And now we're going to take I think it's 21? No, 21. Yeah, I have this accidentally labeled as 22, but that's actually 22, the other axle. But this is 21. Got this piece, this piece, this piece, and another piece right here. Make sure there's no support. I keep finding support in some of mine because I didn't take it all out, apparently. Yeah, there's a little piece right here. You should be ready to go and slap it onto here. Yeah. There we go, all together-ish. 6 M2x20s. Looks like it's there, 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 and there. I'm going to start in the center. Yeah, okay, that's what. There we go. Get the grease moving in there. I put so much on top it kind of stopped it for a minute. Oh, and then there's 2 M2x8s that go here and here. And we're putting the cover on. Nice. Get rid of that grease hole. I keep touching it. See, there's a gap here too. Just like my front axle had gaps out here, this one has a gap here. I think I might have to reprint some of these housings, but I'm sure it'll work for now. Just get it going. 8 M2x8s. All right, got that on there. Looks like we're putting bearings into here on both sides, more than likely, so I'm just going to do both sides. I know that's jumping ahead, but I'm already going to be grabbing. What did I take? Yeah, all the sports out. We got both bearings in because I know I'm going to have to do the other side anyways. And then we have this piece and that piece I tried to grab earlier. 2 of those. And again, we're going to have to do both of these anyways. So, 2 M2x30s. So, got that all the way down there, and then I'll put it in here. Got 2 of those because it's going to say ×2. Oh, look at that. It's like I know what I'm doing now. Put this into there. This one into here. Oh, it looks so cool. Rear axle, repeat the same on the other side. Yep, don't forget the bearing. Put lots of grease on both sides. Yep, we'll do that. Last time I put the grease on and then I spun it, and I shouldn't have because it went everywhere. So I'm just going to put the grease on, and then when I put the portal cover housing on, then I'll spin it. You know what? Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Yeah, no, nope. Not going to do it. I'll move it around a little bit by hand. There we go. I think that's the better way to do it because if I spin it, it's just going to mush everywhere. So you have to go to bag 16 and get the spacer looking things. They look like these. 2 of those. 5 M2x20s. And you're going to put these over here. You got to make sure you put them in the right direction. There's like a inset bolt right there. You put it over this way, that facing out. Then that way when you put your bolt in, it'll be recessed in. Okay, got both those in there, all 5 on each side, down in. And we're going to do 4 bearings, 2 on each side. Go right over here. If I remember correctly, mine was rough and I had to kind of push down. Yeah, it's the same on this one. Oh, dropped it. Okay, got those in. Right there and there. So with me, I have to put like, I had to, on the other ones I had to do too, I put a socket over it and just tap it lightly. I couldn't push it myself. These ones are fine, but this one, well, this one, even on the other axle, I had to do the same thing. And now we're going to put the outside housings on. Cover and the cover. Oh, right. Yep. Nice tight fit. And you will notice that the plastic is different colors on mine because I ran out of PCTG when I was printing this stuff and I wanted to continue printing, so this is PETG. So PETG, PCTG. So the shinier stuff is the PE. So 4 M2 by 25s here. All right, and got all 4 on each side on. Now we're putting on the little covers, little dust covers. 2 M2 by 8s. Okay, got those on. I just kind of make sure that they're smooth here. And then we're going to be doing the hub stuff next. Yep. And it's 3 M2 by 30s on each side. And these go onto here, and there's like only one way. Yeah, see, like it locks into place. And they go in like that. All right, got those all in. Much easier to turn now because I can actually grab something. And then we need these pieces. These are what actually hold the wheel, and we're going to be working on the back side right now. This is where you get a lot of them. Was it 10? Yeah, 10 M2 by 16s on both of these. All right, got those in there, and that takes a minute. And then make sure you clean off all the plastic off the threads. You can do this later too, but just kind of get some of it off there. And yeah, it says to do 2, and I just did them. And now we need to do 8 M2 by 12s for both of these. And this is what attaches it to the actual axle. All right, and got all those in. This looks so cool still, you know, just like on the last one. This looks good. And then, oh, we are going to put, this goes this direction. I don't think I had any put these on the other axle, did it? And I just don't remember. I did. It was just part of like the knuckle area. 1 M2 by 16, so I'm gonna need 2 of those because of those 2. This is the spring perch. And now repeat the same steps for the other side, which we've already done. So now we have a complete axle. Rear axle is complete, which is our middle axle. I'd say that was approximately an hour for me, but I'm also trying to record and do different things. So it's probably less for you when you're just doing it and not worrying about that. Yeah, it definitely kind of warped a little. I'm going to have to maybe reprint these eventually. I just won't go in deep water yet until, I reprint them or something. Like, I know it's not going to be watertight, but that's like a sieve. Like, I can just, water will just pour in there. So, well, I mean, the tires are big. They're going to be, here. So I can go up to a few inches at least of water, no problem. And honestly, if it gets wet, it gets wet, whatever. Oh, man, I just realized I didn't have my mic on that whole time for the middle axle. So I apologize for the sound quality if it's horrible. Yeah, I'm hoping that it, picked me up enough on the camera to frustrating. Whatever. But now I got it on. Hopefully it's better. And I don't know, the mic was in its charging box, so I'm hoping it wasn't connected to this that whole time and was in here trying to listen to me, because that would be muffled the whole time. So at least if the camera picked it up, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, well, whatever, is what it is. Well, let's go on to the next one. So we got the front and the middle axles done. Next, we're going on to the rear axle, obviously. And there we go. That goes like that. This has been a cool build so far. This one I think took me, well, I'm recording and doing this and that and pauses in between, you know, kids and stuff like that. So this one took me about 2 hours, but that was also me talking, doing camera stuff, whatever. This one took me about an hour, same thing, but I kind of knew what I was doing on this one. So I'm hoping the rear axle it's really close to this one. There's just like a few differences because it's not set up exactly the same. So hopefully it'll be a little quicker. So, and also I'm going to just probably go through it quicker in general, because if you really need to go through the little fine pieces, you probably could just look back at this one. So I'm not going to say run through it like crazy, but you know, now that I've done two, I feel a little better about it. So we're going to start out with the diff gears, which is part, well, it says right on here, right? 26? 26. That's the 6x6 gears and shafts. So you only need this if you're doing the 6x6. If you're doing the 4x4, you're not doing this. And honestly, I won't be able to tell you specifically what you're doing for the 4x4 anyway, since I'm not doing it. So I start out with here, the gear, the bearing. Yep, that gear. So push this in here. After doing two, and now this is my third, I kind of feel like a veteran, but I know I'm not, but you know. There we go. All right, I think I got it. Had to give it a little extra push. Yeah, that's in all the way. All right. Got that one in. Next is going to be the cup with the bearing and the other one of those. There we go. Put that in here. We got those sticking out. And then we're going to do the triangle piece. And remember, these bolts end up being a little loose feeling. You just kind of put them in. It's like it's just holding it. Oh, I forgot to put the bearings in. Oh, and I did that on the last one too. I'm going to take that whole axle apart. I can't believe I did that. I was getting sidetracked by other things. I was trying to figure out why it felt so weird. And I was like, nah, it says it's supposed to be loose. Yep. Okay. That's what I get for not trying to rush things, but just trying to quickly do it. Wow, I can't believe I did that. That is really frustrating because that's like inside. Yeah, because that's going to be better when I put this in like it's supposed to. Look at that. And I think I was supposed to put grease. Yeah, apply grease on these. I just realized I forget. I say at the beginning that I felt like a veteran, and now I feel like a noob again. That's what happens though. You know, it's like when you learn a little bit of something and you think that you're a veteran, like I just said, or you know, think that you know enough to just do it, and that's I shouldn't be doing. This is the first build I've had of one of these trucks, so I really shouldn't be thinking of it that way. Okay, so I greased both the top and bottom, put those in, install the gears like I did, 3 M2x20s. Put those in there, and then we're going to go on to, let's see, what part is this? This is this piece? Yes. That looks just like it. 4 M2x10s. I'm pretty sure this whole section is the same as the front, but we'll go through it anyways. Nice and flat. And there's two of those. Yep. I think I'd remember that from last time. Yep. Got both of those in. Times 2, like it said. Whoa. Next, we're going to need, bearings. And then there's 3 M2x20s. So that means there's 6 because we got to do both sides. And the bearings go on here. All right, we got 3 in there, 3 in there. And it moves nice and smooth. Yeah, now repeat for the other side. And now we have, make sure that the output shafts can move freely. We did. Shafts wise, it says to put 1 M2x12 down through here, and it's showing the flat side down. So I'm going to put this on the top, on like the rounded side. I say it's showing the flat side down just because I can't see the flat side of the picture. Bearing all the way down. Last time these went on pretty nice. Yep, right to the end. Just a little stiffer at the end, so make it snug. Now we got two, and we put them into here, and here. So we have a whole center section, and we can put it into the housing, which is 22. Hopefully that's right, because I had it wrong last. Yeah, number 22, and it looks like we are using this piece, because this one has the other half of, yes, okay, yep, because this is another piece, and then this goes, yep, and this goes into here, yes, that feels good, and make sure the bearings are correctly placed, otherwise the case will not close, yep. All right, so I'm gonna put that there, put this over here. Now there's letters. That one says T. This one says A right here. And it says to put a bearing on it. I'm guessing all the way down, hopefully, because that's what I did. And we're going to get a crown looking gear right here, I think. There's two different ones, it looks like. Oh, you know what? It's probably from the other. It's probably from the other axle. Use the correct bevel gear. I need the one to the indent holes like this. So yeah, 3 M2x20s. Okay, got that in there. Nice and fly. Yeah, okay. Then we're gonna flip it around, and this little piece here goes on there, which is 3 M2x16s. All right, got those 3 in there. So this is what we're looking like. I'm gonna put a bearing on, kind of figured. All right, got that on. This one was a little rough. It's one of the roughest ones to put on. I'm wondering if I like accidentally tightened this up a little more than usual and it kind of flared out the plastic. So I'm gonna take this and put it into here. Okay, interesting. Oh, it's probably because it's gonna be offset because it goes off of the front axle, the middle axle. I didn't even think about that. Apply grease, yep. So there's apply grease on this one too. I'm gonna try to push it into the gear. And then the top housing, and we put this on here. Oh, I did it again. I forgot to look for support, little piece of support there. I was printing these so like one after the other. So I was just trying to get them off the plate, print the next one off the plate, print the next one. Yeah, there we go, that feels pretty good. Put my hand in the grease, again, as usual. 1 M2x8 goes here. Got an M2x8 in this corner here. Really got to push on to get it. There we go, closed up the gap. Okay, I had to like push it really hard to get it in there, but it feels fine. Okay. The other side also has an M2x8. Okay, I kind of just pushed and spun at the same time to close that gap up. Wonder if I can do that with some of the other ones to kind of close up some gaps. M2x20 goes on the tip here. Huh, the head of my bolt actually broke off on that one. It's staying together. I think the threads are still, like the threads are still here. There's a gap though, so I'm gonna have to reprint this housing too. It's so weird. Everything else has been okay. Frame wise, transmission was good. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm gonna run it for now. I might just reprint some of this stuff later and go from there. And then I'll just have to, I mean, that broke anyways in there, so I'll have to definitely re-drill, definitely reprint that, so it doesn't really matter. In bag 23, we have the diff cover. That's gonna go on next. There's an M2x6 in the front of the diff cover. And it's gonna go on like this. And there's 8 M2x8s. All right, got all those 8 in there. Let's see, what do we got? 2 M2x12s, and they're going to go up this direction. I'll put those up in there, and then we're going to, okay, hold on. All right, put that to the side for a second. We're going to get to some gears again. We need 3 M2x30s. I think this is for that top transfer section up here. We need a spacer thing with an X on it. Oh, okay, there's an X right there. I need a bearing. And then a gear with a T on it. No, this is a T right there. All right, this is going through this direction. Okay, the bearing, I didn't think about it till just now. I was like putting that on, I was like, well, this bearing needs to go all the way against this piece here. There we go, pushed all the way down. All right, there we go. According to the picture, the bearing should be against here, and I hope it's supposed to be, because that's going to be a pain to get off of there. There's a little space if I need to, but yeah. Then the next thing is 4 M2x20s, and then I need this piece. Yes, this piece. All right, got that there. And a bearing on the other side here. There we go, push that against the table to flatten it out. And that goes into here. It does. It sure does. All right, let's get that grease moved around in there to make sure we're good. I would say that you probably don't need to put the bearing all the way in, about a little bit back. Would it fully seat? It's still going to seat, but you could, there's some play that way. And then, yeah, I'm just going to put some extra grease. That's what it says. And the cover. Right on here. And it's 3 M2x30s. And those go on here, here, and here. All right, we got that all together. I got a little bit of, oh, it's smoothing out. Okay, I think it's just moving that grease around a bit. It's getting better. There's definitely a rough spot there, but we'll see how it works its way in. And I got to take this apart anyways to redo this housing, so I'll see if we got any issues. But I think it's getting smoother as I run it. All right, we have this in this direction. This thing goes here, I guess. Oh, it goes farther back, okay. I was like, that's not gonna fit here. That's an M2x12. I'm gonna guess there's one on both sides. Yep, I just put M2x12 there and there. And then we're gonna be going on to some portal gears again. And again, we're going to do 2 at a time. M2x20. Okay, M2x20 on both of those, times 2 it says. We knew that was happening. And then here and here, the 2 thinner ones, not the thicker one, the thinner ones. And out of our bag from back when, 18, we need the little spacers. They have the 4 holes in them. Well, they're not spacers, they're bearing holders. And so this is what we're dealing with. And then bearings. The bearings go on to here. And it's 4 M2x30s, so 8. And got this going here. And I have this, yeah, I have the flange towards the gear. I don't know if it actually matters, but that's how they have it. All right, we got both of those built. Let's go on to the next thing. We got to do the cups now. This one, no, okay. Yeah, we got to go to bag 618 for these cups. See, that's why this should be labeled differently. Right here are the cups for it. And they're out of bag 18 instead of the bag with the portal gears. So it gets confusing. It gets confusing real quick if you do something like that. Because I that's not right. I was like, that's too big. That's, you can see in the picture. That's going to be, I think, for the rear, the middle axle has an in and an out. And I think that's what that's going to be for. All right, so to the side, bring these back over. 4 M2x12s, so 8 M2x12s. Okay, so I got both of those in. M2x12s in both those. Yep, deuce 2, like we were going to anyways. Install the shaft in the half knuckle. Check the arrow mark in the, so somewhere here is where I had my extra parts, I think, from something else. Was that this? Okay, 6x6 knuckles and crossbar, number 25. All right, so we're gonna be putting these in. So I need this one. Wow, I think it's like the first one I picked up. Then I put it back down thinking it was wrong. So the arrow's pointing this way, triangles here, the lips here. Yes. And this is gonna go like that. And then we're gonna put on the part with an X. The problem is they both have an X, so it's kind of not useful. I'm not gonna lie, because you have an X there and an X here. Yeah, there's an arrow, but like, you gotta make sure the shape is right, like that. Now that doesn't feel right. I had a little bit of, a little more there. Support material right there. Let's see, oh, what was this down here? Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, there we go. It kind of snapped into place a bit more. Check the arrow and X marked in the part to verify the proper orientation. But again, like I said, it doesn't, you just need to make sure the shape is right. There's definitely a bit of play. What is there somewhere else that I have? This feels good in here. Oh, there we go. It snapped into place. I must have had it off a little bit. Now there's like no gap. Okay. And then there's 2 M2x25s that go down through the top of here. And I know I'm going to need to do the other side. So while it's fresh in my mind on what I just did, I am going to do the other one. It's a little rough. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's working its way in. I think it's this cup in here. Just a little rough from like the support material. Like, it never does it really smoothly. Bearings in both. Right here. I think it probably would have been easier to put those in before I put in that, because I can kind of push on it. There you go. I mean, they go in pretty good. It's just some, you know, it's just sometimes it's just easier to push it in with the pliers. And so we got those, and then we need these pieces now. And in the old bag of 18, wow, we're getting low on that one. Got the single piece bolt, the single hole ones, M2x30. Make sure you go on this side of it, so the flange is away from the bolt head. We got those. I'm guessing bearings next. No. See, I'm jumping the gun. Shouldn't have done that. And it did say to do ×2, and then it says to put this into here. There we go. Put this into this one. There we go. Apply a lot of grease in the gears. Yes, I will do that. I'll do the same thing I did on the last one. I'll put a bunch here, and I'll use a glove to kind of smear it into it. Now I need bag 16, which again, very few parts left. Get the spacers. And make sure there's like a inset there, so you can put the bolt head in. It goes on the outside, like that. Trying to get this grease covered up a bit, like that. And then it's 5 M2x20s. All right, I got both of those in. There's the 5 bolts down, holding that spacer on. Next is bearings on all these, so 4 bearings. It's always been, this one has been easy to put on. Well, I say always, it's only been 2 axles. And then this one's a little rough. Yeah, it's all same thing. Easy and rough. And I'm sure it's because it's like a bunch of bolts going in this way, pushing out the plastic. And what I've been having to do is put a socket over it, and then just kind of hitting it like this. It's like you're not hitting it hard to like break it. You're just kind of shocking it down. I don't want to I haven't wanted to like hit it this way because I don't want to break anything behind it. I wonder if I can just push it down. I never tried using the socket to just push it. Oh yeah, I kind of can, but I need a little more. There we go. See, I'm just kind of pushing it like this and hitting it. This one needs a little more. There we go. Worst part is marine grease is like, you can't really wash it off. It's marine grease. So when you put water on it, it just kind of blah. All right, now we're putting the covers on. And we're gonna need these soon. So I'm just gonna take them out of the bag and just get rid of the bag. 16 is done. Well, almost done. 4 M2x25s, so 8 of those. And it's been kind of like, you know, you're putting, there we go, pushing bearings on, so it's kind of a tight fit. All right, got those all in there. Grease all over my hands as usual, gross. Going on to this now. These are nice, like I've been saying. They just kind of slot onto here. There we go. And it's 3 M2x30s, so 6 of those. Make sure it's smooth. Yeah. Oh yeah. Once that grease moved. Yep. Once that grease moves, it like makes it nice. Then we're gonna do the rings, which are M2x6s. All right, got those done. Now we're gonna be putting all the bolts in here. 10 M2x16s, so 20 M2x16s. And we got to go on the back side. So those in. And I usually just take off the plastic as much as possible. You can do that later too, but I try to just pull off all the pieces from threading it all the way through it. Yeah, and just says prepare 2. I did it already. Now we're going to put these onto the portal boxes. 8 M2x12s, so 16 M2x12s. All right, both of those are in. Still going to say, just like I did on the last four of these, those look cool. It just looks so cool like that. And it says repeat for the second one, and look at us. Now we're going to be putting it onto here. This direction. And we are looking for this one, it looks like, with the arrow pointing this way. Right? Yes. Because this is here. Yeah, because it's rear steer. So this is going to be the steering arm like that. Apply some grease here, it says, on these. Last time I put a bit too much, so I'm going to put a little less than I did on the other front axle. Because as soon as I pushed it in there, it squished almost all of it out. And then this you'll see the shape of like the bolt head. Yep, it says line. I'm upside down. There we go. The X and the arrow pointing this direction. Double check the orientation of the parts. Arrow pointing backward this way. And we need, where was that? Is it this piece? No. What box, what bag are we talking about now? We are talking about bag 23, I think. Yeah, we're in bag 23 for this part. We're gonna need both of those. There's a couple different, oh no, that one, there we go. That's for the top. Need these ones with all the holes in them. And then in this bag, this is bag 18 again. Need these, and they go up into here. And then it's a M2x10 for both of those. Yeah, see, that's my problem. I think on one of the other ones, I had to grab it with the pliers. The thing is, you don't want to like mar it up because it's going to be pivoting there. I mean, you are going to put grease in there, but still, as soon as it touches, I'm going to let go. There's that, and I think, yeah, these are both the same. ×2, yep. Put some grease here. And I might as well put it in this one too, so I don't have to grab this again. And it's 2 M2x30s. I'm just going to grab 4 because we're going to do the other side soon. And this cup, this goes into this little cup here. And these fall kind of right through, at least they did on the last one. Yeah, this one, it seems like I'm just going to be replacing all the housings pretty much, but at least it'll all be built. I can just separate some stuff and then redo, which is not fun, but at least I'll know what I did. And then there's an M2x12 on the other side. And then on the bottom, I think it's in this bag. No. It's in that same bag? No. What bag was that in? Oh, it's with the links. Oh, see, that's why it's with number 24. This one? 24, right here. Why wasn't it in with this kit? I don't want to, I'm trying to not be judgy, but like, that is just, I don't get why things are where they are, because this is part of the axle. This is the links. And that was an M2 by 8. And this is just a reinforcing screw for down through here. ×2 it says, and I did that. And it's going to go down into here. Again, we apply grease. Put in both of them. Goes down in there. And then 3 M2 by 12s. So we'll get 6 of those. Yeah, got that there. Everything's moving freely. And then repeat for the other side, like we were already planning. There's a significant gap on that one compared to the other side. They're both not good. That's so weird. Pretty much tonight I'll probably be putting on new prints for these. Probably all the housings. No, the middle one was fine. Yeah, it's just the front and rear housings. Yeah, just the front and rear housings. But yeah, because I mean, it will probably work. It's more just frustrating for me to see it, you know. And plus, I don't want. I mean, I know it's not sealed, but more water is going to get in there. All right, so we got that. I think we're going to steering next, which would be in the link kit number 24, and we're going to need this piece and this piece. Yeah, put a little bit of grease and put some hollow balls in. And I'm going to need another one for this, so I'm going to take it out now. I know I'm going to need a part out of 18 for that link also. I'm going to take that out now. This just pops right in, at least it did on the last one. Yep, okay, definitely didn't need that much grease. I don't know why I did that much, but 2 M2 by 10s. 2 M2 by 10s right there. And 2 M2 by 16s to install it. Then there was a M2 by 16 here and here. And now we have steering. Now this one is way more limited than the front. It's only meant to help. It's like a helper steering. Like we're only gonna be steering like that much probably, like that little bit. All right, and let's get another servo ready, I guess. This is a servo off of my Yukon, and it was not bad on there, but yeah, this is just for mock-up. I'll get some actual servos I want, but I just want to make sure everything's gonna fit right. And here we go. All right, a little bit of grease in both of these again. And I learned my lesson last time. I'm going to put this one in, but this plastic one needs a bolt through it. It's an M3 by 12, and it's easier to put it on before. If it was just like a scotch bigger, like the ball, the hole in the ball, it would have been fine, but I could not get it to go through last time I had to do this. And make sure the spacer part of the ball, there's like a flat spot on the ball, is away from the head. The head's here. Come on. And the spacer, like flat spots right there. And the head is going this way. Just took all that grease, put it on the threads. I use the pliers a little bit to kind of push it. I get the grease in there, moving around. And I'm covered again. And this goes to the back. Usually put a thread lock on there, but for now I'm just going to do this because this is not a permanent servo. And this goes into here. All right, and then we're putting 4 M3 by 12s to hold the servo, and 1 M2 by 16 right here. It's weird to me that an M2 by 16 is doing this steering, not an M3. I feel like that just wouldn't be enough, but I guess, you know, I don't know. It seems a lot. And that seems too long, just like on the last one. But I'm just going to run with it because that's what it has. And now we have another axle completed. And everything moves, everything spins. Yeah, there's a little rough spot right there, but I don't know if it's going to work its way in or not. Maybe it's the housing because it's a little warped. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to reprint some, and it looks like it's going to be not too bad to swap out just a housing. I mean, it is a good amount of work, but bolt holes, bolts, and then just, you know, I make that sound like it's easy, but it's definitely not going to be. It's going to be some work. That's it for this one, guys. We got 3 axles done. Look at that. That's crazy. Well, what do we got here? We got, yeah, this one's gonna go like this, like this, like this. No, like this. There we go. Front, middle, rear. That, yep, there we go. Alrighty, I'll see you guys on the next one. Throw down any comments, questions, or suggestions. If you guys are working on this, doing any, I don't know, maybe you're using this as a build along, throw it down below. Let me know how you're making out. It's been fun for me. Next is like links, and I think attaching it to the chassis. I think that's where it's going to go. But yeah, definitely got to break it up a bit. And yeah, all right. See you guys in the next one. Have a good day.